going on, y'all? It's Greg. Greg said it. Back with another one here. Everybody know when they come to Greg said it. If anybody gonna have fun with this Colorado thing, it's gonna be me. And I've had my good times with all the games and the gossip. It's all entertainment. It's fun. It's not a sensitive thing. And I'm tell you, if anybody gonna keep it entertaining, it's gonna be Coach Prime and these Colorado Buffaloes. They are entertainment at its best, especially when it comes to this college football. I had a time, watched most of the game, the championship, college football championship, national championship, whatever you want to call it. Watch those boys from Ohio State win another one. And yeah, Notre Dame, they put a little fight. I thought they put a little more. But these were two of the teams that probably had some of the biggest upsets in the beginning of the year. And look where they were at the end. I remember somebody posted something about everybody owe Indiana an apology because the only two games they lost was to those two teams, right? And when we look at it, they lost one in the season. Ohio State spanked them, but they also ended up spanking Oregon later. And they got spanked, I believe, Notre Dame probably that first round or so. If I'm not mistaken. But, needless to say, I mean, it was a good game. You can take a lot of things away, especially when you compare Colorado to see where they need to be. Everybody's trying to figure out what it's going to take for Colorado to get to that level to win them a conference, even though Notre Dame didn't have to play in no conference. That's a whole nother conversation. But for them to be able to do what they did, what did they do? What kind of training? What kind of mentality? What kind of recruiting? What kind of scheme? Scheme in particular, right? It's a lot of things that Colorado must do better scheme-wise, specifically on the offensive side of the ball when it comes to how they use their motion or how they use their running backs. I mean, using multiple running backs. Don't be scared to use more than two. Keeping them fresh throughout the year. Use your weapons, as I've been saying for a long time. Use your weapons. I have yet to really feel in the last couple of years. All that speed we talk about and all that talent. And it's almost like one at a time versus what we thought was going to happen, which was build packages around the strengths of people. And it's a challenge. Sometimes I believe when you have so much talent and you're trying to get it. Like one thing, they got that big boy receiver, Smith, out there. He's a young guy, but he is the guy at receiver. And typically that's what you see. I mean, unless somebody can show that they can do it differently, typically you see a guy who's just that guy at receiver. You don't really see that. And we brag about, oh, we got 3-4 guys. But does it really work? Because you got to take some food out of somebody's mouth to give it to the other one, especially to keep them happy. Versus letting that guy really be that guy and take over game. Like we seen Amarion Miller do. When he take over, he take over. It's not really his thing to like spread it to him, spread it out. He's really like, he don't really stand out. And I think that's really the thing when you look at the greats. They were that guy. You know, you have a supporting cast. You may have 2-3 guys, but that was that guy. You know, Jerry Rice was that guy. T.O. was that guy. Ocho Cinco was that guy. They may have a Batman and Robin situation, but that's that guy. Now, you look at the Rams that I talked about the other day. You know, we got Marshall Faulk looking to come. You look at Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce. You know, they had a cast, but they really threw that ball. I mean, they really was a light show, you know. But those guys were Hall of Fame receivers, and they got their opportunities. And you really got to build that thing out right to do that. As much as Colorado throw that ball, I don't feel like we maximized, even if it's not throwing, just some of those jet sweep opportunities. We didn't really fully use it. We did a lot of screens and bubble screens, underneath screens, not enough drag routes. I've talked about this multiple times. But what I feel with the up-and-coming season, just looking at how college football is going and how the pros are going. When you look at the quarterbacks who are now in the championship and who've been in the playoff performing, I believe it's the era of the dual threat quarterback. Now, it wasn't that way back in the day because Vic caught it bad. I mean, they dogged him out. I remember Michael Vick, I'm in Atlanta, he was in Atlanta, And they just really gave him a hard time because he was really a true dual threat. And he was that. But they didn't let him really be it without a lot of flack. And now you see guys who really can run and throw and really make a real hard time for the defense, because especially if that guy can run. And looking at what Salter can do, would that really change Colorado's offense and modernize it really? Because it kind of seems like right now we're not in really the era of the pocket passing quarterback. And it's really an advantage if you got a guy who can run that ball, because he can always make a situation that's bad good, not like scrambling like Shador, but like legit. I get this 2 yards. You know, it's like another running back, but they got to account for the running back and they got to account for you. And that's kind of hard to do, especially if that line is blocking and they just needed a couple yards. But that, you can get a pressure on a quarterback, and we've seen it. We've seen it with North Dakota State. We've seen it with a few teams. You've seen it with Kansas State. You've seen a lot of teams in the Big 12 who had those type of quarterbacks. They can ruin your day. It can be 3rd and long, and they can take off running, and it's a wrap. They destroy your short yardage or even your 4th down, 3rd down situations. They can find a way to get those first downs, and it's staying a drive. It's staying multiple drives. And I definitely see that with Jaden Daniels up there at Washington. And look where they are. And we know what Hurst can do. He's been doing it for a while. And so could this modernized approach be exactly what Colorado need? Because like I say, the conference, that's what they do. And, you know, don't sit in that pocket and take no sack where you can get out there and get 10, 15 yards. That definitely can open up some things, because them safeties got to pay attention. If they drop all the way back, that quarterback take off for 20, 25, 30 yards, that's a problem. And it's also a problem where you want to cheat up and then he dump that thing right over you. We see that happen a lot with Lamar Jackson. But like I said, both of those teams yesterday, the quarterback just kind of took over. They were bigger guys too. And they were going to get those short yards, not just, 4th and 1, but they go get it. When they need it, they got it. They just take off and run it. They just take off and run it and go. And we've seen it in both quarterbacks. And neither one was a big name guy. Neither one is known for just really being a slanger. And maybe they'll be good college quarterbacks only. Or maybe they will fit the mold, I don't know how long it would go, of these teams who want quarterbacks who can do both. I remember they used to give Tebow a hard time. Tebow was a guy who can go get it. He did it in college, and he really did it in the pros. But he can't throw. They gave him a hard time. He was a true dual threat quarterback. He's a big size quarterback like we seen. He could throw efficient enough. I think he was an underrated passer because he did what he did. But boy, he ran that ball like a tight end. And I think Cam Newton benefited from that. Cam Newton is huge. I mean, he looked like a tree. He looked like, when you walk up on him, he looked like one of the D-line. The calf muscle so big, he tall, he big. It's hard to tackle somebody like that. So you look at the success he had. He just ran through the college ranks. He only was there briefly, and he ran right on through there quickly. Got a national championship and a Heisman. That's how dominant he was. And then he went up there to North Carolina, and it was the same thing in the pros. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl, I think, maybe a couple times. I know they went at least one. They lost, and they was in the playoff, and they was a winning program. And again, they were he was kind of in the middle. He wasn't quite where Vic was. Vic just really got no love, and they gave him a little more respect than the Tebow, but it still was kind of shunned. Like, oh, you can't stand in the pocket though. You can't be, because you still have Brady, you still have Peyton Manning, you still have a lot of those real elite and historic pocket passers. And then when those guys come in, it's almost like, that's not what you're supposed to do. It's kind of like before the 3-point was added, they was shooting 2-pointers, and it was like, okay, we had the 3-pointers, and the guys was dunking, and it's like, how do y'all do that? Like, you're supposed to do that. It's foreign at first, and then it become a thing. And I'm thinking that it's become a thing where, at least right now, it's good for the quarterbacks because they're not forced to fit into one mold. And if they are athletic enough to go run that ball, I think it'll open up. Even for like some of the guys in Colorado had, I feel like they were athletic and run the ball. I feel like you could have used them, and maybe some Wildcat, the bigger size quarterbacks. They wasn't pure elite passers, But maybe they can go somewhere. I mean, I look at those UCF quarterbacks. They weren't elite pass, but they were some big boys running the ball. And they gave some people some problems. They lost a lot of games, but they gave some people some problems. They gave Iowa State a problem. So that's where we are. And hopefully when we look at Salter, he brings that element to the team that we haven't seen in the last couple of years that make it more suitable for what the game is today, especially at the college level, especially in the Big 12 conference. We shall see. I hope he's eating his Wheaties. I hope he's in the weight room. I'm looking at these boys' arms and chest, but they need to live and sleep in that weight room, especially you plan on taking some hits. But we shall see. We're going to keep an eye on this new strength coach, strength and conditioning, and see what they can come up with. Put some weight on some boys. Running backs need to put some weight on. We'll see. But I'm just Greg said, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll be talking to y'all soon.